I wanted to share this Instagram post with you today. You can read the sticker for yourself, but I will read the caption for you. I used to have night terrors almost every night. Sometimes I would have more than one episode in one night. I would jolt up from my sleep and scream at the top of my lungs or cry out for someone to help me. Sometimes I would jump out of my bed and run as fast as I could, as if I was afraid for my life. On multiple occasions, I ran straight into a wall and fell on the floor. Something was terrorizing me nearly every single night. It left me feeling exhausted, confused, and embarrassed every morning. The people who witnessed my night terrors told me it looked as if I was going through extreme emotional turmoil. Initially, I thought my night terrors were just a phase, but that phase turned into 4 years. It took 4 years before I realized that my night terrors were my unconscious trying to tell me something. It took me 4 years before I decided to listen. My night terrors were not just a phase. They were rooted in something much deeper. They were signaling underlying stress, anxiety, and trauma. I had never really dealt with my childhood trauma. I thought that as long as I remained positive and strong, it would have no bearing on me. The night terrors were an indication that the coping mechanisms I had been relying on were not cutting it anymore. There were pieces of my pain and trauma that needed to be uncovered and healed. Managing and healing the underlying trauma over time decreased my night terrors to almost zero. It sounds too simple, but with time, effort, and persistence, I was able to slowly start to convince myself and my body that I was safe in the present moment. Maybe you do not experience night terrors, but maybe you get ulcers or chronic pain, etc. When trauma is stored in the body, I believe that it will surface in one way or another. And I truly believe that the only way to unlock it and release it is by exploring what has been accumulating rather than continuing to push it down and repress it. I wanted to share this because I myself relate to it personally, and maybe some of you will as well in one way or another. A decade ago, I used to struggle with sleepless nights or waking up several nights a week in so much sweat that I had to change my sheets, but it had soaked through the mattress so much that I had to lay on top of towels, especially if I didn't have someone sleeping next to me. I spent a lot of time playing video games and being under the influence at that time in my life, numbing and stimulating and escaping and validating. But now I realize that the majority of my mental health struggles and night terrors were stemming from a lack of integrity in my actions and a lack of purpose in my life. I was lying to a lot of people, but more than that, I was lying to myself. And it was not until I began to move and apply my gifts and my talents and my experiences toward goals and purpose and impact bigger than myself, and I stopped living a double life or a triple life, and I finally started letting go of the things that I could not control, that my mind and my heart finally could find more peace. I discovered that no matter how much you take to try to fill yourself, it will never be enough. But when you start to figure out what it is that you have to give, you start to realize that what you have is more than enough to do something with. So see this as your sign to stop ignoring the signs that your body is giving you. Often, your first instinct will be to find a way to dull those feelings of discomfort. You will often try to medicate yourself with substances and escapism and other various coping methods and mechanisms like I did. But maybe your body is trying to tell you something. Maybe it's trying to tell you that you are not living in alignment with your values and purpose. Because if you think about what being out of alignment implies, think of it like your spine being out of alignment. And so making any movement will be painful, or your compass being out of alignment. It does not take much to change your destination with even a small deviation. So if you are living your life out of alignment with your values or without a true north set in your compass, then you will end up lost and you will be in pain and discomfort. And in that pain and discomfort, you will often want to Stop moving altogether and resign yourself to a life of sedation, never moving towards what you know in your heart of hearts to be true. And the longer that you travel off course, the more difficult it can become to bridge the gap. And I think that that is often where people begin to split themselves and dissociate as the wires of their souls begin to snap in the tug of war between what they know to be right and what they continue to choose until they sever ties with their humanity and sense of self altogether. Ultimately, no one can save you from yourself.